I think we're in agreement that at this point, well, 6 months or so into the pandemic, that we can no longer do online what we've always done. Like the idea of the webinar as we had it, the 45 minutes of death by PowerPoint followed by ineffectual Q&A and no one moderating chat was probably never a good strategy and definitely won't fly today. But is the answer to just buy a lot of technology? Because I've seen that sort of trend, better lighting, better microphones. That's a good idea, but if you don't have the better technique, well, you're sort of missing a piece of this. Let me just say, what if I gave you an award-winning French cookbook and I told you if you follow all of the steps in this cookbook, you will make the most amazing French cuisine. And you get really excited. You go out and you buy all kinds of pots and pans. You're just like, this is wonderful. I'm going to get all these sharp knives. And then you're looking through the book and you're like, oh, you know what? I don't really have any of these ingredients. I don't feel that confident with using sharp knives. And I don't always measure things properly. You start to doubt yourself. You start to wonder, can I actually create amazing French cuisine by following the steps in this cookbook? Because having the how honestly isn't enough. Having great, technology, having all this great equipment, having the pots and pans isn't enough. You need to have the ingredients and the technique. So in the world of online events, particularly using something like Zoom, the ingredients are the settings. So I'm going to share with you my No More Bad Zoom settings checklist. And this is something I created because when I work with other organizations and they bring me in, I say, this is the checklist that I need to have all set up and enabled or disabled in the Zoom.us settings for me to have an effective and good experience presenting to your group, and so that they can have a great experience too, to make it super interactive. Now, not having that agreed upon ahead of time is kind of like walking into a live event in person and saying, oh, sorry, audience, I was going to have slides, but I forgot to ask for, a projector. Because I've seen this happen in the online space where someone says, oh, I was going to do breakout rooms, but they're not enabled. I was going to use whiteboard, but we don't seem to have that on this computer. I was going to use this yes, no feature, but it's not enabled on here. And some of these things you can't enable on the fly. You'd have to actually have everyone leave and come back in. And I actually had that happen a couple of times back in March and April. And it was kind of excusable then, but now, can you imagine? Can you imagine now this fall or later even this year that someone says, oh, we have to all leave and come back in? It really would feel very unprofessional. So the Zoom settings, checklist is a really important place to start. And then you got to start working on your technique. You got to get better at online facilitation. You got to get better at how to leverage the different digital tools to have a solid experience. So I want you to just consider starting again with the ingredients. In the links, in the comments below, I'm going to drop the link, which is robbiesamuels.com/Zoom settings. So you can check that out. That's actually not even an email opt-in. That's something I'm giving away. It has both a PDF of my sort of settings that I'm suggesting, but also a 12-minute video that you can watch to kind of walk you through exactly what to do to turn it all on. So even if you're not sure what all these different settings mean, you can just at least start knowing you have them all enabled correctly. So check that out and then come back next week where I'll be talking more about how to actually, get better at the technique part. And so you're not just like well lit, but you also know what you're doing. All right. Have a fantastic weekend. Hope this was helpful. See you next week. Bye.